By the end of this video, you'll understand how data clumps sneak into your code, why they're a problem, and how to refactor your code to avoid them, making it cleaner and more maintainable. Imagine you're trying to fix a bug in a code base that's been around for years. The issue isn't even that complex. You've definitely seen worse. But as you start diving into the code, something strange keeps happening. You tweak one part, another piece of the puzzle breaks somewhere else. It's like playing whack-a-mole, but instead of moles, it's cryptic error messages and broken functionality. So you start wondering, why is this code so fragile? The logic isn't rocket science, but every change sends ripples across the entire system. You dig deeper, trying to trace the problem, and then you notice something weird. The same group of variables keeps popping up together all over the place. A bunch of variables that always travel together. Name, address, city, zip, same combo over and over again. But they're just floating around as individual arguments or fields in different parts of the code. It feels repetitive, but hey, isn't that normal? You push forward, trying to untangle the logic, but now you see it everywhere. Each time you see a bug, it seems to connect back to these clumped together data points. You have to pass this cluster to 5 different functions, each time hoping nothing breaks. And every time you add something to the group, like an extra field, you have to change every instant of this clump across the entire code base. Oh, and when something goes wrong, you have to check each occurrence because you never know if the data is being handled the same way each time. So now you're left wondering, is this just bad luck? Or is there something deeper at play here? Spoiler alert, this isn't just bad luck. What you've run into is a textbook example of a code smell called data clumps. It's when certain groups of data like name, address, city, and zip always seem to appear together. But instead of being bundled into a meaningful structure, they're scattered across the code as individual variables or parameters. This might seem harmless at first, but over time it leads to a ton of problems. Your code becomes harder to maintain, easier to break, and way more complicated to test. And once you start adding or changing things, you're dealing with duplication and inconsistency all over the place. And here's the kicker. By not refactoring these data clumps into their own objects or data structures, your code slowly becomes a nightmare to manage. The more clumps you have, the more tightly coupled your code gets, and the harder it is to make even simple changes. But don't worry, we're going to fix this. First though, let's look at what's really going on with data clumps and why they cause so much chaos. Picture this. You're writing a piece of code for, let's say, a billing system. You keep working with customer data. Name, address, city, and zip. Since you're going to need these fields everywhere, you just pass them around as individual variables. Quick and easy, right? At first, everything feels smooth, but at some point your boss asks you to add a new field. Let's say a phone number to the same customer data, and suddenly you realize something. You've been passing the same 4-field set everywhere. You need to go back and update a bunch of different functions and method signatures to handle the new field. Then you think about it. Wait, what if we need to update or add fields again in the future? Are we going to play the same update game every single time? Now you're onto something. You start digging around in the code base and you realize that this clump of customer data isn't the only one. In fact, you've done this with other chunks of data too. Order details, product info, maybe even payment processing data. And this isn't just you. Other people in your team are doing the exact same thing all over the code base. It's like you've accidentally scattered little data bombs throughout the system, and each time someone needs to change or add something, it's a ticking time bomb waiting to blow up in your face. So how do you fix it? This is where the magic of refactoring comes in. The solution to data clumps is actually surprisingly simple, and it revolves around one thing: encapsulation. Instead of passing around these variables around like they're loose change, you bundle them together into an object that actually makes sense for your domain. In our case, instead of passing name, address, city, and zip as separate arguments, you could create a customer address class, or a customer object that holds all the relevant info. Now, instead of updating 5 different function signatures whenever a new field gets added, you just update the class in one place, and boom, the whole system stays in sync. By encapsulating those data clumps into proper objects, you simplify your code in a big way. Everything is easier to manage, less prone to bugs, and way more readable. It's not just about cleaning up your code, it's about future-proofing it. Next time you need to add a field or change how customer data is used, it's a one-and-done update. So the next time you see a bunch of variables that keep showing up together, ask yourself if it's time to bundle them into a real object. By doing that, you'll make your code easier to maintain, more flexible, and a lot more robust. Future you will thank you when you're not stuck cleaning up the same mess over and over.